The culture of a business, I mean, is that a that's probably a really good beginning point of building a culture up to a place, at least understanding the culture in the first place, but getting it to where you want it to get to. Or is that something a business owner should do? Like, is culture something that should organically evolve, or should you lead it in a direction?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
And the first thing is just care about the culture.
Okay.
When you care about the culture, it helps for it to organically become what it is. And the idea is really to determine what you want your environment to feel like and look like,
Hmm.
as opposed to the poster on the wall with, your mission and your values. But you have to live those too. So if
Yeah.
your value, Mhm. If your values are to have candid conversations in order to um, improve, but you leave out the part about respecting your coworkers, that impacts your culture.
Sure it does.
Everyone feels like they have an opinion and they say things, but they may not be respecting the other people's opinions and their point of view.
Yeah.
So deciding, what is it that you really care about in terms of your culture, and then paying attention to it, but listen to what other people care about as well.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always a wall between certain departments. And especially all the people listening will know between the fabrication shop and the machine shop is always the biggest for some reason. I'm not sure why. I've got my theories, but they're just theories. So is that an opportunity to bring people together? And also, I want to get this out before I forget and another bunch of things. Anonymous. Is it important to do these things anonymously, like to get the information from the people anonymously? Because I feel like people are more truthful when it's anonymous. Is that true?
Yes, and it goes back to trust. So, um, and these five triggers, right? If there's uncertainty about what the sequelae will be, if I am honest and they know who I am,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship, well, if there's an issue, there's been something holding them back from having that conversation or listening to that feedback in the first place. And, a sense of fairness. Is this really going to be, am I going to be treated fairly if I tell you something that you don't want to hear?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to those five triggers again. So, yes, anonymous feedback is helpful to begin with, but we don't want to foster a culture of hiding.
Yes, true. Very good point. Yes.
And the more vulnerable and transparent and candid leadership can be after receiving that feedback, the more that that's going to lead to a trusting culture and being able to have these challenging conversations in a productive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust is so key. There's a book called The Speed of Trust. I don't know if you've read it.
Love that book.
So good. It's one of the I've read it. It was one of the fastest books I've ever gone through. It was unbelievable.
It's a page turner.
It is. It really is. And but it's so logical,
Yes.
So recommendation to anybody listening.